Today. My name is Stephanie Wagner. I'm a trainer and program specialist with Healthy Minds Innovations, and I'm here today to guide you in your practice. Would love for you to check in. If you wouldn't mind sharing where you're from, as well as maybe a word that describes how you're doing today in the chat box. And as you're doing this, let me tell you a little bit about Healthy Minds Innovations for those of you that are maybe not familiar with us. We're a nonprofit that's affiliated with the Center for Healthy Minds, a research institution at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And what we do is we translate the science coming out of the Center for Healthy Minds into tools to help people both cultivate as well as measure well-being. And we've been coming together as a global community to practice during this pandemic to train our minds in qualities associated with resilience and well-being. And each week we've been practicing with a theme that is rooted in our Healthy Minds model of well-being. If you're not familiar with our model or if you want to learn more, check out tryhealthyminds.org. Our model of well-being actually has four different dimensions of awareness, connection, insight, and purpose. And within each of these dimensions, there's a set of skills that can be trained. And so the skill that we're working with today is kindness, and kindness falls into the dimension of connection. So I think of like kindness and compassion as being two sides of the same coin. So we were working with compassion last week for those of you that were familiar, that were there and are familiar. So compassion is our desire to be free from suffering and hardship. And on the other side of that is kindness, this desire that we all have to be happy, to have a sense of ease and well being in our lives. And we can actually train ourselves to see this innate capacity within us, to see this kindness that naturally exists. And we begin to see this and nurture this skill within ourselves. And then we can begin to extend this kindness out to others. And I know that with the state of the world right now, it can kind of feel like there's an absence of kindness. But I really love how our founder, Dr. Richard Davidson, talks about kindness. He compares it to a language. So we all have the capacity to speak, to have language. And kindness, we also have the capacity to express kindness and to be kind. But we need the conditions and we need the learning and the training to take place in order for us to actually be able to express this. And so, similarly, we are training our minds to get in touch with nurturing this seed of kindness that exists within us so that we can then begin to bring this forth as sort of a baseline of our experience rather than these spontaneous moments of kindness that happen throughout our lives. And when we're training our minds step by step in kindness, we begin to sort of break down the bias that exists within our experience. It's easier to be kind to people that we like. And in training our mind in kindness, we begin to sort of work with extending kindness into people that we don't know and people that we even don't like. So I am going to lead you step by step through cultivating kindness for three different groups today. We're going to work with self, we're going to work with a loved one, and then we're going to work with a group that you want to sort of cultivate kindness for that you feel like is a group in need. And I'm going to point you to a couple of different ways that you can do this. So just feel free to use the instruction that you feel is the most helpful to you. All right, so we'll practice for about 20 minutes or so. So let's go ahead and get ourselves comfortable. Getting settled in. Allow the body to have a sense of relaxation, if that's available to you. Place your feet on the floor, hands in your lap. And you can feel free to practice with your eyes open or your eyes closed. And then In order to get settled in, feel free to take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Each out breath allows you the opportunity to let go of anything that's not serving you today, tension, tightness. Allow these breaths to help you settle into practice. Take a moment to reflect on your motivation for practicing today. See if you can identify that part of you that really wants happiness, that wants ease and well being. And cultivating the intention to practice today, not only to work for the benefit of your own well being, but to also work for the well being of others. So take a moment to set that kind motivation. And now ground yourself in some aspect of your present experience. You might want to notice the feeling of the breath, sensations in the body. Letting your inner wisdom guide you to what would feel the most supportive to ground yourself in your practice. Spend a few moments just resting the mind on that particular part of your experience. There's this sense of presence and knowing. And when you get distracted or lost, simply bring your attention back to what you're using to support your practice. And so we'll begin with our first part of our kindness practice today, cultivating kindness for ourselves. Bring to mind a time in your life where you experienced happiness or joy. And see if you can just recall that memory to the best of your ability. And here we're going to wish ourselves continued happiness. And we can do this a couple of different ways. One way is to simply use phrases like, may you have continued happiness. Or you could even say, I'm happy, you're happy. You can also use that felt sense of kindness and just tap into that feeling in the body, extend that wish for happiness to continue through that felt sense. So try one of those two ways of practicing kindness for yourself. Wishing ourselves continued happiness and ease through connecting with a time in our life where we experienced joy and happiness. And so I'll introduce one other option here for cultivating kindness, which is to imagine there's a warm light in your heart center. And as you breathe out, you can breathe out this warm light, symbolizing happiness to your former self. Breathing in, the light comes back in. And breathing out, extending that light forth again, wishing happiness and well-being to continue. So choosing one of those three ways to practice, just do this for another moment. You may or may not have any feeling associated with this practice, and that's okay. Cultivating the wish, connecting with that wish for happiness to continue, even if the feeling's not there. All right, let's simply drop the technique for a moment and allow the mind to rest. Notice anything that's happening in your body and your mind as a result of doing this practice. There's no need to fix or alter what's happening, simply being with your experience as it is. All right, let's begin to expand our kindness to someone that we love, friend, pet, or family member. You now have 3 ways to do this using phrases of kindness, felt sense in the body, or using that warm light in your heart and sending that forth aligned with your breath. Maybe experiment with something new. So bring to mind someone in your life that you feel close to. And even if you can't see them in your mind, have a felt sense of being in their presence. And just like you want happiness and ease, so do they. And begin wishing that for them, that they have happiness, that they have ease. If you choose the phrases, may you have happiness and ease, connecting with the practice in whatever way resonates with you. And remember, the foundation of this practice is awareness. So there is this sense of knowing the sensations or the phrases. And when you're no longer connected to that part of your practice, just bring your mind back, reconnect, and re engage in sending kindness to your loved one. Continuing with the practice for the next moment or two. May you have happiness. And then simply let go of the technique and allow the mind to rest with any thoughts or feelings that are present. Even if there are no feelings here, it is okay. This isn't about the feeling. This is about the wish, the motivation for others to be happy and well. All right, let's bring to mind a group that could really benefit from some kindness. So it could be a person that maybe you know, or a group that maybe you don't know. Choosing whatever feels the most inspiring for you to expand your practice even further. Bringing this group to your heart and mind, or this person. May you have ease. May you be happy. Again, using whatever ways that you want to connect with this motivation for happiness, phrases or not. And do that for the next few moments. Really actively wishing that this person or this group has well-being, safety, knowing that just like you, just like your loved ones, they too want a sense of ease and well-being in their lives. Wish it to be so. All right, once again, simply drop whatever technique you're using and allow the mind to rest. And just be with whatever is happening as a result of doing this practice. Notice any thoughts, judgments, feelings. Anything that's happening is okay. And we can just create the wish that our practice today not only benefits our own well-being and our own wishes for happiness, but that it ripples forth to others. May others receive kindness from us, from the world. May the world be more kind and more peaceful as a result of our training our minds in this way. All right, and you can open your eyes. Would love to hear from you how your practice was. If you have a word that maybe describes your practice today. So you just had the opportunity to train your mind in kindness, recognizing this motivation, this wish to be happy, to have ease and well-being. And we can see this within ourselves and then slowly, slowly extending this forth to others. And then we begin to influence our actions and our behavior. So it really begins with us, right? Like we in this world can feel like overwhelmed, like we can't make a difference. And in fact, we can make a difference, and it starts with working with our own hearts and minds. Kindness is beneficial for well being, it also feels good. And research suggests that kindness is actually linked to the body's aging process, which is amazing. Um, One study showed, in fact, I'm looking at my notes here, that people who engage in kindness practices like the one that we just did, show less signs of aging on a cellular level. So, feels good, good for the body, good for the world. So, please join other facilitators this week that are guiding practice. We've got another opportunity on Thursday. I believe Richie is leading practice, so I know he would love to have you. And let's contribute to good in the world by working with our own minds and hearts and cultivating kindness for ourselves and others. May you be happy. May you be safe. May you have well being and ease. And I personally will see you next Tuesday at noon.